Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the difference between a premium 56-degree wedge and a budget 56-degree wedge. Now, straight away within the price here, there is £115 difference between buying both wedges brand new. So we're going to try and find out, is there really such a big difference? Now, when you talk about this sort of comparison, with drivers in particular, there is generally a huge difference between the premium brand and the budget brand, because the difference that goes into the materials in regards to shaft, in regards to materials on the heads, and obviously the R&D of actually kind of putting the golf club together, the development teams in your likes of your Titleist compared to your, first thing that comes to my mind is a Donne Slasher, was that like a £20 driver? It's completely different. So you would expect to see a monumental difference in performance. But with the wedges, I'm going to be comparing the Titleist SM8, I don't have a 9 yet, versus the Phaser XR2. Now this is the best selling 56-degree wedge on Amazon. It literally arrived in the box yesterday, and to be fair, Amazon, it didn't arrive in great condition. I'll be honest with you, the box was absolutely battered and the head was hanging out. Thank God it was bubble wrapped and there's absolutely zero damage on the head. But what I'm going to be doing through this video is I'm going to start at 20 yards. I'm going to move out to 50 yards. I've got my flight scope Mevo as well. It's going to give us some distances. We're going to see if it makes a difference at 20 yards and 50 yards. I'm going to start with the Phaser. Okay, so I'm going to start with the budget club first. Now, as soon as I put this down, it does look different to the Vokey. It's kind of, the Vokey is a lot more polished. It's more finished. Like the bit between the hosel as it goes into the shaft just looks a little bit more clean on its curve. The leading edge of the Phaser, it's like it kind of pokes out a little bit more of a curved bottom edge on there. Again, that could be them just trying to give the player a bit more chance of getting the slide in the club underneath. It also potentially lowers the bounce on the club. So again, if this is a budget club for potentially someone that's just starting golf, or someone that doesn't want to invest too much in golf just yet, then a low bounce club can make it quite difficult in terms of the quality of the consistency of the ball striking. So that is something to bear in mind, because to me it does look like there isn't much bounce on this at all, which for me is a decent play. It's quite a nice thing. I can really open the club face up and slide underneath it. But if I'm just kind of using this as a bit of a starter, it's pretty scary. Right, so let's go for feel. So I've got nothing to compare it with. So far, I'm just going to get a few shots on this. 5 shots with this. Pretty standard chip to 20 yards. Oh, 20.9 yards, good distance control. It's come out the middle of the face. Felt quite nice.
Carry is 15.9 yards.
Right, so what I've done so far is tried to hit a couple of different types of shots. I've tried to go in higher, I've tried to go in lower, I've tried to go back foot job. Last one here, I'm going to go back to like a very conventional 20 yard shot, middle of my stance. Average height. Feels nice. It doesn't, I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting it to feel horrible and ugly. It certainly doesn't look really nice like the Vokey does when I put the Vokey down, but it certainly doesn't look ugly. It doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel hard off the face. Overall, in terms of numbers, it performed relatively consistently. Now again, over 20 yards, I'm quite a consistent player over 20 yards, so it shouldn't have deviated anyway too much. The ball flights I wanted to hit, I was able to hit. My only kind of alarm bell for this sort of club is the fact that it does look like it's got a very low bounce angle, and that's not great for a golfer that may be looking to start the game, or maybe looking for that budget club because they don't want to invest too much just yet. The overall look of it is pretty nice. It looks like the Mac Daddy. XR2 sounds like the old Callaway driver. Phaser, are you Callaway in disguise? Moving straight now into the Vokey wedge, I'm expecting this to feel a little bit softer off the face, but let's see. It's a 20-yard shot. Maybe it's not going to feel too different because it's such a short shot. But I mean, for me, straight away as I put it down, that kind of attention to detail on the top surface of the club does look better. There's a little bit less of a curve at the leading edge at the bottom.
Carry is 15.0 yards.
Probably not the best strike in the world. Just dug down a little bit on that one then.
Ready. Carry is 15.2 yards.
That was a really nice strike and just seemed to grab that little bit softer once it landed. It just seemed to land a little bit softer. And it was a similar strike to what I'd done on the phaser. So that one did feel a bit softer off the face. That one definitely felt softer off the face. So what I'm noticing here is as the ball initially lands, it lands a little bit softer. And I'm looking at the numbers just at the corner of my eye really, and it looks like the numbers are coming up with a slight little bit more spin as well. Again, that could just be a slight misrepresentation of how I've struck the golf ball. I'm not sure, but my general feel is it does feel a bit softer off the face. Bit of a lower one, bit of a release. Yeah, that very first bounce was a really kind of dug its heels in and then just released. So it wasn't more of a fiery release, it was just a little soft landing. Right, back foot job. And then with the back foot job, it didn't land softly, it released out as you expect it to do off the back foot. So general workability a little bit better, feel a little bit better, and the general look of the club a bit nicer. If you're going to rate it if you're going to rate each department out of 5 stars, for me the Vokey always gets 5 stars, but then I'd put the phaser in 3 to 4 stars, 4 stars probably, because there wasn't really that much of a difference. And certainly if you're looking at deciding whether you spend £150 or £135 based on a 20-yard shot, you're not going to go far wrong with that one. Let's see how it does over 50 yards. I've come out to the golf course here at Great Torrington Golf Club. I'm exactly 50 yards away from that flag. We're going to see how these two clubs perform. But what I've seen so far is that this one is spinning more with lower loft. So the head is going to play a major role. Not really that 2 degrees difference in loft. This time round, I'm going to start with the Vokey. I'm going to hit 5 balls and we're going to see how it goes, how it feels. Also, the flight scope's going to really show off my ability from this distance.
Carry is 43.6 yards.
A little bit short, lovely feel off the face, I should say. That just felt incredible.
Carry is 52.9 yards.
Much better. Second bounce grabbed quite nice. It looked like it landed on a downslope almost there, so it was a bit of a bouncy landing, but I think that's more of where it's landed, not how it's landed.
Carry is 49.8 yards.
Much softer bounce on that one.
Ready.
Good shot. Feel free to jump in the comments section below and judge my distance control. I'm saying that because I'm quite happy with those 3. One of the keynotes so far is spin rate's been pretty consistent, around about 4,500 RPM from 50 yards, which I think is quite decent. Bit more speed on the downswing there. Bit more speed on the downswing will help get more spin. It will obviously hit the ball a bit further.
Carry is 47.8 yards.
Not bad. So again, as expected, lovely feel off the face. That's why I use these clubs. Pretty soft landing as it comes in. From this distance, you're never going to see the ball just grab and stop. That takes a very different type of shot, a specialist type of shot. Obviously, it takes kind of the quality of the wedge, the golf ball, the terrain, the general conditions, the landing conditions on the green as to how the ball reacts. So that's why this is a very controlled environment with the exact same golf balls from the exact same place. Let's see how the phaser does. Right, so we've got the golf balls back. Phaser is out. Again, now I've kind of hit 10 balls in a row now with the Vokey. And putting this down, it does look a little bit, almost a bit circular overall, a bit more rounded. So it's not my cup of tea.
Carry is 49.7 yards.
Nice. Oh, it's probably the closest shot I've hit. Felt felt good off the face. Because it's got much less bounce, so it certainly feels like it has a much less bounce. It looks like it has much less bounce. I'm going to get a little bit more diggy into the ground, so it's not going to use the bounce enough to glide the grass. I am expecting to see a little tiny bit more of a divot. Okay, overall, definitely looks different, feels a little bit different, but it doesn't feel bad from this distance. From 50 yards out, it doesn't feel clunky, doesn't feel clumsy, like you would expect maybe like a driver to do. So overall, the budget 56 degree, to be honest, from my side of it, it gets a thumbs up for sure. For £35 compared to 150, if you are watching the pennies and thinking, do I really need to invest that side of my game? Probably not is the answer. I mean, we're all gonna go out and we're gonna buy the best possible wedge that we can buy purely based on kind of brands and whatnot. I mean, we all do it, don't we? I mean, it's just the world that we live in nowadays. But if you want any peace of mind that the budget ones on Amazon, for example, the Phaser, which I used to have one of these when I was a junior, these are still very good wedges and they will do what their purpose is, which is in and around this sort of distance, get you in close to that flag. Guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Lots of kind of cool investigative videos to come to the channel as well.